Grace right now moving away from Haiti, but will likely start strengthening or continue to strengthen as it approaches the Grand Caymans and then eventually the Yucatan. As far as Henri goes, we will likely also see some strengthening, but it does appear right now that it is going to remain off of the U.S. East Coast, so not threatening land. In fact, kind of staying between the U.S. coast and Bermuda. Here's the latest on Tropical Storm Grace, again moving away from Haiti. Looks like maybe a little bit of remnant rainfall, but at the moment drenching Jamaica and moving toward the Grand Cayman Islands, and we will continue to see strengthening as it is appearing to be a little bit more defined on satellite. Now the thunderstorms will have to get developed around the center before that really starts to intensify, which we're likely to see tomorrow, mainly because we're going to have lighter winds and a more hospitable environment as we approach the Yucatan and then move over. Now, over land, we'll likely see some weakening. The problem is this isn't very mountainous terrain, so we usually see fairly minimal weakening. At the moment, Hurricane Center is saying landfall of 90-mile-an-hour winds, almost a borderline Category 2, then winds weakening down to 60 miles an hour. But notice kind of a quick re-strengthening back to a hurricane as it approaches Mexico for a second time on the west coast of the Gulf of Mexico or Bay of Campeche. Now, the forecast for that strengthening is mainly because we're going to have, one, the lighter wind shear, and two, it's going to be moving over an area of deep warm water that provides the energy for these storms. And with it moving over that very deep warm water, I think maybe at the low end this could be a Category 2 storm. It could even be stronger than that. Now hopefully it will move fairly quickly so it won't have as much time, but this would be that region where you could see almost like a rapid intensification before it continues. Notice you don't have that deep warm water once you get into the Bay of Campeche, but certainly still very warm surface water temperatures. The reason, Grace, we've been talking about this, is not coming here is because of this big blocking high that is building in. This was really apparent on the models as of last Friday. I was talking about some of the models trying to turn what would become Grace up toward the east coast of Florida, and it looked like the high was going to be really building in, and sure enough, that is exactly what looks to be happening, and that's going to keep us clear from anything in the tropics. But as that high sits right over us and then starts to strengthen, it's going to start to warm temperatures up here and really reduce our rain chances by the weekend and going into early next week. Quick check of Henri, which is down south of Bermuda, and does not look like we're going to see any interaction with land. So that is great news, as it is starting to look, when you colorize the satellite, doesn't look quite as impressive as when we looked at the infrared satellite and we could really see that outflow in the upper parts of the atmosphere. So it certainly does look like it would be on its way to becoming a hurricane before getting quickly moved up toward the Canadian Maritimes, but staying offshore. Saharan dust, it looks like we're going to get a big surge of this coming in through the weekend and much of next week, which should also help to reduce any further development out in the tropics. So as we stand right now, we've gone through Henri. The next name up is Ida. Let's hope we don't see that anytime soon and nowhere near us.